often neck problems come as a result of either the neck itself being inappropriate in its position or not stable, or an imbalance in the neck muscles at the front and back of the neck. The vertebrae can be out of place, or sometimes the shoulders can affect it or the spine can affect it. So I'm going to go through the simplest things that can help you with your neck, and maybe the simplest things might include just taking into account the idea that if your neck is having a problem, then leave the neck alone and focus on the joints next to it, which will be the shoulders and the upper back. So you can try this gently if you've got a neck problem. Don't hurt yourself, but these are just general suggestions for if you've got a neck problem. So I'm going to stand sideways. I recommend if you want to try these exercises, face me. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. So if you just test your neck, first just move it a little bit, just see how it feels. And then let's see if you can fix up any discomfort in the neck, or if you can fix up any lack of mobility in the neck. So very gently just sense the sensations in your neck, then see what it feels like to bring the head forward, head backward. How does it feel to take the head from one side to the next? How does it feel to gently turn the head one side to the next? Okay, so having measured your neck, now we go through some simple procedures to stabilize it. The first is a co-activation around the neck joint complex, which is going to be done by tightening the muscles or activating the muscles on the front and the back of the neck at the same time. So to do that, bring your head slightly forward and your neck slightly backwards. Another way of saying it is chin in and neck back. Make the jaw relaxed, and what this does is it tightens the muscles at the front and the back of the neck at the same time. Head down, neck back. And then that will make it more stable when you're doing things like doing a half sit-up. So if I just bring my camera down a little bit and I come onto the floor, and then from this position I'll turn sideways. If you bring your head down and your neck back and you just roll back a little bit, you'll feel it's reasonably safe. If you don't do this, it won't feel so nice for the neck, and we can try this. Bring your head down and bring the neck slightly forward, then go back and see if that feels less comfortable on the neck. And for most people, that feels less comfortable. So what we're trying to do is create a stability around the neck joint complex, which will come when you activate both the muscles that bend the neck forward and bend the neck backwards at the same time. How can you do this? Well, the neck is a multiple joint complex, and so the neck can be operated by using the muscles that join onto the skull or join onto the neck itself. If you want to feel these muscles, feel one hand on the front of the neck, one hand on the back of the neck. Bring your head downwards. Notice that tightens the muscles at the front of the neck. If you bring your head upwards, it tightens the muscles at the back of the neck. And when you bring the head down, front of the neck tightens, but the back of the neck relaxes a bit. If you bring just the chin up, back of the neck tightens, front of the neck relaxes a bit. You can do a similar thing with the neck itself. So for the neck, this part here, if you push your throat or neck forward, that tightens the front of the neck. If you bring your throat or neck backwards, it tightens the back of the neck. When you bring your throat forward or neck forward, that tightens the front of the neck, but it relaxes the back of the neck. When you bring the neck backwards, it tightens the back, but it relaxes the front. So if I want to create stability in my neck joint complex, which might be useful for things like doing a half sit-up, I do two opposing things. I bring my head downwards or forwards and my neck backwards. So I'm going to bring my head slightly downwards, which tightens the front of the neck, and my neck slightly backwards, which tightens the back of the neck. In yoga, we call this Jalandhara Bandha, and a bandha is the co-activation or simultaneous tensing of the muscles around the neck joint complex. So head down, neck back, and make the jaw relaxed. And that's the movement you want. Now, if you tighten muscles on the front of the neck only, it creates instability. I would do that by bringing the head forward and the neck forward, and then you feel a bit like a turtle, and it's not so nice. And many people fall into this pattern from chronic use of telephones, iPhones, etc. So what you want for stability, for neck relief often, is head down, neck back, if you want to look straight ahead. And let's do that again so you can see the difference. So if we come into a sit-up position, head down, neck back, lean back just as far as you comfortably can, might not be as far as me, and come up, and the neck should feel stable and relaxed. But if you go head down, neck forward, when you lean back, you'll feel the neck will not feel quite as comfortable. So better, go head down, neck back, jaw relaxed, and come back down. And then go back up. Now, the other thing you can do is release the neck a little bit when you're talking about doing things like lifting up the head. So I just want you to try, face me, I'm just turning sideways, lift your chin upwards. Now, if you lift the chin upwards, for many people that causes neck pain. So you'll find you get a lot less stress in the neck if when you lift the chin up, and that means the head goes backwards and it tightens the back of the neck, tighten the front of the neck at the same time by pushing your throat forward. So try this. Take your throat forward, take your chin up, and that would feel probably a little bit better for many people. I mean, I've tried it 1,000 times with different people. That usually feels better for most people. Throat forward, chin up, and then come back down, head down, neck back, as opposed to doing an imbalance movement, which would be the chin up and the throat backwards. So let's try what I'll say is the safest movement for most people first, and then the least safe movement for most people, but do it gently if you've got a neck problem. So safe movement, throat forward, chin up. That's usually safe for most people. Keep the chin up. Try moving your throat backwards, and that usually feels less comfortable. So better, chin up, throat forward, then bring the head down, neck back. And that usually works a little bit better. It creates bandha or stability. Now, most people think in yoga that Jalandhara bandha is head down, neck back, but it can also be throat forward, chin up, because what you're looking for in a bandha is a co-activation or simultaneous tensing of the opposing muscles around a joint complex. And this is one of many bandhas, at least 9 main bandhas around the body, which all have 2 opposing forms. Now, if we want to see how that applies in terms of stability, we can do a simple version of this tabletop tabletop pose people call, I think like this. Sometimes people do that with the legs straight. I'm just going to keep it simple. So for this position, grip with the fingers, push the shoulders forward, and then from there, the safest way to do it is to take your throat forward, which in this case is away from the floor, and your chin backwards. But don't let the neck come closer to the floor. So I go throat toward the ceiling or the sky in this case, and the chin further back, and then bring the head down, neck back. And that usually feels quite nice, quite safe for people. But now I'll try the less safe version, and that is from this position, move your throat away from the floor, forward in the same direction as my navel, then take the chin back, but don't let the neck come closer to the floor yet. And now let the neck come closer to the floor like that. Now, for me, it feels fine, but I'll find for 9 out of 10 people, it does not feel good. For most people, it's better if you move your throat, same direction as the navel, your chin back, and you don't let the back of the neck draw closer to the floor. This feels good. Letting the neck go closer to the floor doesn't for most people. So throat forward, chin up, head down, neck back, and come back down. So this is 2 simple principles. When you move your throat forward, your chin up, you get a lot better response usually for the neck. And all movement should start from your core. So when you're doing these movements of bringing throat forward, head up, or head down, neck back, what's important is that you move from your core. So to move from your core means when you take your head up, it's going to make you bend backwards. So the safest way to bend backwards is to bend backwards from your core. So what you'll notice me doing is before I lift my head up, I make my back bend backwards. From here, I expand my belly, then my chest, and then I move my throat forward, chin up. And that will feel better, as opposed to if you pull your abdomen in. If you pull your abdomen in like this, then try and lift the head up, for most people that feels worse. So what you want is before your head moves, move from your core. So move your belly up, then your chest, and then throat forward, chin up, and that feels usually a lot better on people's neck. Then to come down, don't just bring the head down. Bringing the head down will make you bend forward. So before I bring my head down, I round out the lower back, then the upper back, and then bring the head down, neck back. Before I bring my head up, expand the belly, chest, throat forward, chin up. Then before bringing the head down, round out the lower back, upper back, head down, neck back. And in this way, then, the movements of the neck come a lot easier and a lot smoother. All right, so another thing that will help move the neck in a better way is when you turn your head to the left or the right side, it's important that you lift up the ear on the side you're moving towards. So if I turn my head to the right side, that tends to pinch the right neck. You see creases come on the right side of my neck. So what I do to avoid that pinching is I lift the right ear up and chin in, neck back slightly. So when you look over the right shoulder, lift the right ear up, chin in, neck back. When you look over the left shoulder, don't look straight ahead because otherwise it pinches the left neck. Lift the left ear, bring the chin in, neck back slightly. Then you come back to the front, move the belly, chest, throat forward, chin up, round out the lower back, upper back, head down, neck back. And when you're moving sideways, a good thing to do is to move sideways, not by just dropping your head to one side, but rather by lifting the other side. So say, for example, if I bring my ear toward the shoulder, that will only feel so good. But instead of thinking of dropping one ear, so instead of dropping this ear, I lift the opposite ear. So then I've created length on this side of the body. I've created length here on this side of the body rather than short on this side. So watch again. I can either bend to the right side, so I can lengthen the right side either by dropping the left ear like that, or I can bend to that side by lifting this ear. And that usually feels better. So if I go on the other side, if I want to bend my head to the right, that compresses the right side. I can do a similar thing, more effective, is to lengthen the opposite side. So I'm lengthening my left side to move to the right, as opposed to shortening my right side to move to the right. It frees up the neck a little bit. Okay, so now when you're trying to look in any direction at all, it's important the movement comes from the navel. So, or from the core, in fact. So if I'm doing this position, like this position here, trick is to look at the fingers of the extended hand. Now, if you just look up and you lock your core, it's going to cause a problem. So you can try that if you wish. When you're doing it, many people feel uncomfortable lifting up the head to look at these hands. So what you can do is when you're looking up, expand the belly first. So you can try it, well, try it from the ground first if you like. So you copy my position and you go down. I'm bending my left leg, taking my left hand down, my right hand up, and then just look at the fingers of that hand. And then bring the head down and lower down. And then this time, take the same arm up. And when the arm is up, for a start, don't just take the arm up like that. Take the shoulder forward and up, and that makes it. Expand the belly, chest, and throat forward, chin up. And then bring the head down, compare. The throat up, it generally feels a bit worse. So bring the chin in, lengthen the back. Now expand the belly, chest, and throat forward, chin up, and that usually feels better. Round out the lower back, upper back, head down, neck back. Let's try it on the floor. So bend your left knee, take your left arm down, and then from there, take the right shoulder toward the floor and over the head. Then before lifting the head to look at the fingers of your right hand, expand the then the chest, and then throat forward, chin up, look at the fingers of the right hand. Then come back down, pushing the foot to stand back up. And that usually works a little bit better for most people. Some people have got absolutely no problems in the neck. In the modern world, it's less and less likely now. So, it depends on who you're talking to, but for most people, these neck movements will help a lot. Let's try the other side. So now I'm going to bend my right leg and go down right elbow, right knee, or right fingers to the floor. If you take your left arm over the head like that, that causes a lot of jamming in the shoulder. So it's easier to take your left arm toward the floor and over the head. Then if I want to look at the left hand, if I just lift my head up like that, it doesn't feel fantastic for most people. So what you need to do first is before lifting your head up to look at the fingers, expand the abdomen. So expand the belly, chest, and look at the fingers. But when you do that, the problem is many people's back collapses. So lengthen the back of the body by lowering the hips slightly. Then lengthen the back of the body further by taking the left arm toward the floor over the head. Keep the back lengthened, and then expand the belly, chest, and throat. Look at the fingers of the left hand. Now come back down, pushing the foot, stand up. Let's try that from standing, which is a simpler position. So from this simpler position, keep facing me. Lengthen the back of the body. Take the left arm forward and up. You can go out quite high. And then having done that, expand the belly, chest, and throat forward, chin up. Look at the finger. And then bring the chin in, come back down. What's the opposite way? Well, what many people do, and you can try, take the left arm behind you. So turn the shoulder out, bring it behind you, go up and look up. And when you do that, that tends to jam the neck a bit. So especially if you look up at the fingers as you're going up, so you go take the left hand backward and look up, that can feel uncomfortable for many people. So instead, think all the movement starts at the core. Also, you need to lengthen the back of the body. So try this. Round out the lower back, bring the left shoulder forward and up. Then from there, keep the back lengthened and expand the belly, chest and throat forward, chin up. Look at the fingers. And it's a little bit. Bring down the arms. You want to make sure that before your head lifts, before the throat moves forward, the abdomen expands outwards. And what can tend to happen is before the abdomen expands outwards, you need to release it, and that helps if you breathe into it. So just see what happens if you don't breathe into the abdomen. So for example, if you pull your abdomen inwards like this, if you keep it firm, which many people teach and practice, if you do that and you come up again, keep the abdomen in, lift up the chin, the neck will usually feel less comfortable. So what I'm saying is don't lock your core, move from your core. So to do this time, when you lift up your head, think expand the pelvic floor, expand the belly, then open the abdomen. Really expand it before you lift your head up. But of course, many people think that the abdomen being contracted protects their lower back. If you're concerned about this, just don't squash your lower back. Start with your knees a little bit bent. Drop the sitting bones down like a weight on a string, which is the spine. Then move your left shoulder forward and up. Keep length in the back of the body. Bring your left elbow up, your left arm up. Keep the back of the body long. Keep the left side long. And then before lifting the head, expand the abdomen. Then the chest. And then move your throat forward, chin up. Look at the fingers. Breathe into the abdomen, breathe into the pelvic floor, and make a passive breath out. Then round out the lower back, upper back, and bring the head down, neck back. That usually will feel a lot easier. It's a much easier position to learn this from standing than it is to learn it from the floor. But let's go back to the floor now. So take right leg to bend, left leg to straighten. Take the right elbow down to the floor or on the elbow knee. Then take the back to lengthen, so round out the lower back a little bit by maybe letting your left hip drop. Bring the left arm toward the floor and over the head. Keep the back of the body long, keep the left side long. Now expand the abdomen, chest, and move your throat forward, chin up, look at the fingers of the left hand. Breathe into the abdomen. And passive breath out, look down, lower the hand, lean on the right leg, bend the left knee, and stand up. Good, I hope that helps a little bit. Now, the other thing you can do if you've got neck problems is to mobilize your shoulder. So the shoulder relates to the neck, so one of the things you can do to release the neck is to move the shoulder blade forward, the shoulder blade back, and then move the shoulder up and down. These are musculoskeletal movements. They're musculoskeletal linear movements, shoulders forward and back, and shoulders up and down. You get a better result if you roll the shoulders. But when I'm rolling the shoulders, I'm not making a big circle. You understand that when the shoulder blades roll, it's not a square. A square is not how the joints move. All joints move in circular motion. So you go forward is the front of the circle. It's like, say, if you're looking at a clock face, and this is my clock, right? That up high is 12 o'clock, down low is 6 o'clock. Over there is 3 o'clock. Over here is 9 o'clock. So what we've got then is the possibility of going 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what I want you to do is if you make the clock as big as possible, that's going to cause problems. So rather than going to 100% of your range of motion, if your aim is just to release the neck, don't stretch. Go no more than 50 to 70% of your range of motion. So I could make a really big circle, but I'm going to make a half circle. And I'm going to do this with my neck neutral, and I'm going to bend my knees a little bit, the knees bent, I drop the sitting bones down like a weight on a string, which is the spine. Let my spine straighten out a bit with my knees bent, my face relaxed, neck relaxed, pelvic floor relaxed, abdomen relaxed. Then I'm going to go forward. So I'm going to go 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6, 9. 12, 3, 6, 9, and I keep doing it like this, but I'm not making a really big clock face, I'm making a little clock face. And then if I lock my spine, if I tighten my core by pulling the navel to the spine and engaging the pelvic floor, my shoulders feel stiffer, my neck feels stiffer. So I relax my pelvic floor, relax the abdomen, and then I find that as my shoulders move, it actually makes my spine move and my trunk move. And you'll see that when I'm doing this, when my shoulders are at 3 o'clock, my shoulder blades forward in protraction makes the upper spine bend forward. When I come to 9 o'clock and my shoulders go backward, you'll see my back starts to bend backwards. And so what I'm actually doing when I'm rolling my shoulders and relaxing is the shoulder blade movement makes my trunk bend forward and backward. So natural movement doesn't actually mean the shoulders move the trunk. It's the trunk will move the shoulders, ideally. So what I want you to do this time is to reverse engineer it. And to reverse engineer it, I'll just adjust the camera so you can see, is you make it so before you bring the shoulders to 3 o'clock, round the lower back out. Bring the shoulders forward. Before you bring the shoulders to 9 o'clock, expand the belly chest before you bring the shoulders back. Before you bring the shoulders up, let the hips drop down. Before you bring the shoulders down, bring the hips up. And then so what I'm doing now is I'm actually moving my spine, and especially the core of my trunk is between the navel and the pubic bone, navel and pubic bone here. The core is between the top of the hips and the tailbone. It's inside between L5S1 and the region between navel and pubic bone. That's the core of my body. In the world of modern physiotherapy, we talk about engaging the lower abdomen. And so I'm actually able to engage the lower abdomen by pulling it in like that. So that lower abdomen engagement inwards is important to get. And once you get that lower abdomen engaging inwards, you can start to control your core. And it starts to make your back feel a little bit better. So I'm going to move the lower abdomen in first and out like that. You don't have to do that, but it certainly feels good when you can. But what I'm doing, first of all, is I'm just suggesting that before your shoulder blade goes forward, round out the lower back, shoulders forward. Then lift the hips, bring the shoulders down. Then before the shoulders go back, expand the belly, chest, shoulders back. Before the shoulders go up, drop the hips down. So round out lower back, expand the belly. Round out lower back, expand the belly. Round out lower back, drop the hips, lift the hips, expand the belly. And in that way then, I'm actually moving my core first and allowing my shoulders to move as a result of my core moving. And this actually feels very, very nice on the whole trunk. And once I get good at doing this, then I can also not just move the back of my trunk and the front, I can move so that when I'm moving my lower back backwards, to let my shoulder blade go forward, I can pull my lower abdomen in. And then I get this rolling action like this. That lower abdomen moving in is an optional movement that helps when you can do it, but doesn't matter if you can't. Just keep the abdomen relaxed. The trick is not to be focused on making your abdomen look good by pulling it in tight. That won't actually help you. I have got abdominal muscles, but I tend to choose most of the time to leave my abdomen relaxed. It's just a lot more pleasant. It's what children do, that what allows them to feel young. And as you get older, you find the more you tighten your abdomen, the more stress you have, the less your back feels good, the less you have power to do things when you need to do them. Babies walk around with soft abdomen. Let it be soft unless you need to use it. Then you get a lot better result. So this is an important movement then, and once you do that, you'll find your neck usually frees up a little bit as well. Then another thing is the neck will often release if you can tighten the muscles that oppose the neck itself. Now, often many people feel tension in the region above the shoulders here. So this muscle group region is directly above the shoulders, and you'll feel that if you lift your shoulders up, that muscle region above the shoulders becomes tense. But that muscle region above the shoulders, that's also your neck muscles. So if you lift the shoulders up, not only does the muscles that lift the shoulder become tense, but also your neck becomes tense. So the shoulder and the neck are intimately related. So one of the things you can do to release the neck muscles is to activate the muscles that pull the shoulder down. So the muscles that lift the shoulder up are also related to neck muscles. So if you want to release them, pull the shoulders down with the muscles that pull the shoulders down. Main muscles that pull the shoulder blades down are your latissimus dorsi, which is the back of the armpit, and the pectoralis major, the front of the armpit, these two muscles. And if you can tighten those muscles and pull them down, those muscles will send a signal of reciprocal relaxation to the muscles that pull the shoulders up, and that means those muscles will release. So just feel your neck a little bit. Now, if you want to tighten the muscles of the armpits, a few things help. One is know that those muscles have got three main functions. These muscles actually attach to the upper arm, like the actual front armpit muscle goes to the chest to the upper arm. The rear armpit muscle, latissimus dorsi, goes from the lower back to the upper arm. So here, if you see it, when I pull my armpit down, you see it goes tight all the way down to the lower back down there. You see it on me like that. So when you pull your armpit down, that's the latissimus dorsi, it goes down to the lower back. So if you want to make those muscles tight, do three things. One is pull your shoulder blades down like that, and you can feel if you take one hand under the opposite armpit, push down the shoulder blade, it tightens the armpit. But two other ways exist to tighten the armpit. One is to squeeze the elbow in. So if you lift your shoulder up and then push your hand against the thigh, that tightens the armpit. So both those muscles, the front armpit, the pectoralis major, rear armpit, latissimus dorsi, both become firm by pushing your arm in. Okay, so the other thing you can do to tighten the armpit is you turn the shoulder in. So if you turn the shoulder in, but lift the shoulder first, and then turn the shoulder in, and you'll feel the armpits both become, the front and back armpit both become firm. So there are three ways you can engage the muscles under the armpit, and we do them all together. Push the armpits down, turn the shoulder in, squeeze the elbow in, and then you'll feel the armpits become quite firm. Another thing you can do to make your armpit firm is to make a fist, because when you make a closed fist makes your elbows a bit tighter, because the muscles that go from the fingers to close the fist attach all the way to your elbow. So by making a closed fist, it gives a stretch reflex activation to the muscles around your elbow, which makes you able to make a bit of a biceps a bit better, bulging biceps. And by tightening the wrist, helps tighten the elbow, and the biceps helps tighten the armpit. You can try it. Keep your fingers soft, pull the armpits down, turn the shoulders in, squeeze the elbows in, fingers soft. It's hard to make a biceps, it's hard to make the armpits firm for most people. Easier if you make a fist, then making a bulging biceps, then push the armpits down, turn the shoulders in, squeeze the elbows in, and you'll feel armpits are quite strong. So doing that will activate the muscles that pull the shoulders down, which will release the muscles that pull the shoulders up via this spinal reflex called reciprocal relaxation. But the best effect will come if you lengthen the back of the neck first. So to lengthen the back of the neck first, you bring the head down, the neck back slightly, jaw relaxed. To lengthen the back of the neck further, round out the lower back and the upper back. Then carefully bring the head down, neck back. Make sure you've got no pain to do this. Then from that position, maybe have a look at me if again you need to. Put the chin up, the lower back, upper back, and then bring the head down, neck back, jaw relaxed. Then make a fist. Then from there, push the armpits down, turn the shoulders in. You keep facing me. I'm just turning sideways so you can see. Armpits down, turn the shoulders in, squeeze the elbows in, head down, neck back, and jaw relaxed. Then from that position, keep pushing the armpits down, turning the shoulders in, squeezing the elbows in, but relax the pelvic floor. Relax your abdomen, breathe into the abdomen. And then there's a neuromuscular signal going on. It's saying, we of the underarms are trying to pull the shoulders down. Can you of the overarms please stop trying to pull the shoulders up? Hold for a few moments longer. Relax your face, relax your jaw. Breathe into the abdomen, pelvic floor, lower back. Release. And then from there, come out of the pose and see if you move your neck, does it feel a little bit freer? If it does, Then you've used a simple stabilizing effect to pull the shoulder down, and it's also giving you a little bit of a release in the neck muscles. So the armpit muscles that pull the shoulders down can release the muscles that pull the shoulders up. This, unfortunately, has led to a big confusion in the world of modern exercise, modern yoga, modern, all sorts of different posture, movement, breathing classes. And that is, when I go around the world and I see at different festivals and places, I'm seeing a lot of people teach that when your arms go up, to avoid tension in the neck, you should pull your shoulders down. Many people teach this, and I don't think it's the best thing to teach. What we want is to make sure that this is being done in a way which you get the best effect. And you need to get the best effect, ideally, by not just always keeping the shoulders pulling down. Pulling the shoulders down will shorten the spine. For example, if I take my arms up high, you can see I've got a little bit of length in my lower back, but as soon as I pull my shoulders down, you see my back shortens. If I feel the skin of my lower side like this, I pull the shoulder down, I grab more skin. Lift the shoulder up, I have less skin. Hold my ribs here, I have less skin. Pull the shoulders down, I can grab more skin. So pulling the shoulder down will lessen the length on the spine, and it can actually cause lower back pain. So what we want then is to get as much traction in the spine as possible, and to do that, you're going to get release in the lower back pain. Take your shoulders up as high as you can. But if taking your shoulders up causes neck pain, that's not a good idea. So many people misunderstand that. They think that because tightening the armpits, pulling the shoulders down releases the neck, that's what they should do when the arms are up. Remember, this is not a simple release by lengthening, because otherwise people would have their neck released just by dropping the shoulders. It's not about dropping the shoulders. It's about tightening the armpits, because by tightening the armpits, not just by gravity dropping them, you have to actually activate these muscles. Problem is, if your arm is up and you feel your armpit muscle, you see the armpit in this position faces toward the floor. When the arm goes up, it faces forward. If when the arm is up, you pull your shoulder down, you can feel this. Take one arm up, take the other hand on the armpit, pull the shoulder down. It doesn't tighten the armpit, but if your arm is here or on the floor, pull the shoulder down, tightens the armpit. So when your arm is up, if you pull your shoulder down, you're not going to tighten the armpit, which means it won't release the muscles on the other side next to the neck. So the rule is, don't pull the shoulders down to tighten the armpits. Push your shoulder blades in the direction the armpits are going. So in this case, my armpit points to the floor. If I push my shoulder toward the floor, armpits will activate. But if my arm is up, armpits point forward. So pulling the shoulder down does not tighten the armpit. It's pushing the shoulder blade forward that tightens the armpit. Then you'll feel it tighten. And when you push the shoulder blade forward, that releases the neck. So you try on the other side. If you take your arm in this position and you pull the shoulder blade down, it tightens the armpit, which we felt before releases the neck for many people. But if you take your arm up, sort of feels your neck's a bit tense, you think you should release your neck, pull the shoulder blade down, maybe the neck's not so squashed, but it's not been released because the armpit will still be soft. But if you note that in this position, it's not the armpit pushing down, the armpit is pushing in the direction it's pointing, which happens to be to the floor. That's why it tightens. But when the arm is in this position, now the armpit points forward. So to tighten the armpit, don't pull it down, push it in the direction it's pointing, push it forward, then it tightens. Then the neck can release. And you can feel this when we take this position. So if you take your arms up as high as your face and see if that frees the neck a little bit. Most people will say yes. Come back to the center. Then push the armpit backward. Most people say worse. So my suggestion is we want to take the arm as high as you can. So to help that, push the armpit forward first. That releases the neck. Bring the arm back down. Similarly, if you want to take the arm up and make it go straight up, you often get a better result by doing this. And so this is something that myself and Bianca Matchless, my business partner for many years at Yoga Synergy, have taught always. And that's when we bring the arms up, as opposed to taking the arms up out to the side and up, which is possible, but for many people causes neck pain, and I'll show you why in a second. You turn the shoulders in, push the shoulder blades forward first, then take the, as opposed to, and you can try that, so take the shoulders forward, back of the hands together, elbow forward and up. Do it again. Take the shoulders forward, back of the hands together, elbows close. If you do the opposite, outward, which makes the shoulder blade go backward, arms up, usually arms then come back down. It can feel quite different. If someone's got a really perfect neck, you won't feel a difference. But most people's neck has been dysfunctional through the lifestyle that we have. So a better way of doing it, in the beginning at least, is to turn the shoulders. Turn the shoulders in, push the shoulder blades forward, back of the hands together. Once you understand this gives you a better movement, you can take the arms out to the side, but what you must do is turn the shoulders out, position as you come up, shoulder blades forward and up. Result. One up there. How cute. There was a kangaroo here the other day and a large pig the other day. We have koalas down the road as well. It's very nice. So when we're doing this, there's two choices. Better, three choices. One choice, easy, is to take the shoulder blades forward, turn the shoulders in, arms. You take your arms up, and I do recommend taking the shoulders as high as you can and closing the gap. Much better for relief of lower back pain, better kidney function, better shoulder function. But another option, if you want to take your arms out to the side, turn your shoulder blade out, which will normally make your shoulder blade go back. Keep the shoulder turned out, but push the shoulder blade forward. So I'm going to turn the shoulders out, then push the shoulders forward as you come up, and that, you can remember to do that. Problem is, turning the shoulder out will make the shoulder blade want to go back. So you have to know, push it forward. And then the more advanced way would be to synchronize the shoulder going up and forward at the same and right time as the arm's meant to. So when I go with my shoulder blades from the forward position, back position, understand that's a circle. So it's not for me to go down and back. If I'm down as far as I can and I start going back, my shoulder blades have to lift. So they've lifted a bit. And if I want to go any higher, I can't go higher. And once I go as high as I can't go forward or back. To go forward, I have to go down a bit. Then once I get fully forward, I can't go up and down. If I go any further down, I have to come back a bit. It's a circle. So you must understand that when you take your arms fully, your shoulder blades have to be at that middle position. And it's quite nice to take the arms in a circle as you go up. So the way I'll take my arm up is I'll start down, turn the shoulders out, bring the shoulders back. But then as I start to go up, bring my shoulders forward and up. So by the time looking at it again, so shoulders up is 12 o'clock, shoulders down 6 o'clock, shoulders back from that position 3 o'clock, shoulders forward to 9 o'clock, like that. So what I do in this position, then I'm going to come to 3 o'clock here. Then I come up 2 and 1 and down. I go 11, 10, 9. 3 o'clock, 2, 1, 12. And then 11, 9. And that you can do, but it takes a little bit of education.